Hello, hello, hello. My name is Dr. Brenda Jane Power, and the doctor represents metaphysics, so the nature of being. This is Medicine Woman Solution. This is Soultion. Your soul has a solution. And it's important when you wake up every day, you pay attention to the type of downloads, the type of programs that you wake up to. Are you crabby? Are you got a billion things to do? Have you got stress already in play? Are you so used to stress that that's the way you operate? There's all these different ways of being, and you can help yourself to choose how you want to show up for yourself, how to hold space for yourself, and how to change particular energy fields. So today, when I woke up, everything seemed to be fine. I'm happy. So I'm grateful. Thank you, therapy. And getting out of bed, I picked up my phone, got a message from somebody, opened it up, and it said, follow the link, to, so I opened it up and it kept going to me. I'm like, okay. So then I asked them, they go, well, it shouldn't. It should go to another place. I'm like, okay, all right. And then to precede what was going on today, I watched how I think it's in a first chakra, and it is the USA thing, United States thing. This is what I feel because I was born in Michigan, so my Vivax cord is connected to that. And my husband is Australian. I live in Australia, and I don't think it's happening in Australia as much. So it's not just the planets, but it's also the chakras. And I feel like those that are working through stuff are going to have to pay attention to certain things that are going to occur. Don't take them personally. If you do, heal it out. Hi, how are you? And so it's important to be prepared to some degree. I guess that's the best way that you want to say this. So we're going to talk about energies that's unseen that can affect you, whether you believe in them or not. Like we have a polar vortex that's going on, and I know that's messing with my magnetic fields. And I've had to keep balancing my body because we're made of electromagnetic energy. And a lot of people don't believe in that either, but I have been fully experiencing it. So get out of my way. I know what I'm talking about when it comes to things like that. So using healing tools to really get me back on track, back in sync with the healthy patterns, So as I look at the retrogrades, okay, so here's your planet, it's in this motion, and you have all these other planets, but it's like people sometimes think that all the planets going backwards, but what it is that it's going slower, and we're kind of passing them, we're past that planet. So they slow down their speed, and we are going at this speed, and therefore it looks like the planets are going backwards. Now, so what? What does this have to do with, what does it have to do with what we're looking through, what we're doing? Well, in this regard, I says, okay, as I'm driving a vehicle, my husband's driving a vehicle because we're getting brakes fixed on our one vehicle, and it's like everything seems smooth. We get in the car, and everything else just seemed to be really wonky. I thought, what's going on here? This is not making any sense. And instead of getting caught up into it, things break, this happens, and it's unscripted. How do you respond? And so someone asked the question, well, if you know a lot of the answers, well, how would the communication go? And I thought, oh, that's interesting. So part of me is answering that question, or spirit is answering part of that question. And I'm like, oh, well, you'd sit in quiet for one, because it's like, depending on the person that you're with, don't poke the bear. Even if you're pointing it out, but you're not doing it in the sense that to hurt anybody, but you're just seeing these different things. So the planets, we have Mercury, we have Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus, Neptune, and Chiron. And I thought, well, did any of them start today? No, really started today. And I'm like, okay, that's interesting. And so when I began to look at this, I think the last one that kicked in to doing all this was October, and that was Jupiter. So it's like, what's going on? And I feel like, again, it's a USA thing because, like I said, my roots, my aunt, and my Vivax cord is in Michigan. And so I said, okay, so Mercury, if we were to look at this, is about your quick wit, your quick thinking, the possibilities, your opinions, your reasonings, your ability to rationalize. Now, if the more you start to move to unity versus just being who you are and independent, but moving unity, and that's the heart-brain coherence, moving so that you have created the third option instead of being in the polar effects, you are going to have to address more about what's going on. Because if you are just used to using your left brain, you're not using your right, then the mirror effect is going to occur and you're going to start seeing some weird things. The energies have affected different programs, different the way things run. And you're like, okay. But if we look at this, Mercury's about that communication. Can you adapt? Can you transform? Can you? If you run up against that wall and you can't, you can always measure and use tools to change this. So then I thought, okay, so it's about our communication. Can we adapt? How do we process? That's pretty much what I teach is, we're taught that we don't really know how to process in a healthy way that's going to support our soul. So then I look at Jupiter. Jupiter represents expansion, wisdom, and abundance. And the wisdom is locked into these negative emotions, these unresolved patterns. And if you could heal in these unresolved patterns, these unresolved continued stories and get closure, you can allow yourself to develop more wisdom and advance more spiritually. So your pursuit. So Jupiter's like, I want you to pursue higher truth, more spirituality, more wisdom. I want you to heal your stuff to get the wisdom. Mercury's saying, yes, we want to learn how do we process, how do we communicate, how do we adapt? So then it leaves us with Saturn. And Saturn is like, well, I'm here to do a Saturn's return. So if you're around 30, you're going to be getting this wake-up call. And there's different ages, different times for the wake-up call, but it's also about discipline. It's not about beating somebody up. It is about practicing the same thing, like I'm learning Chinese. So every day I'm exposing myself to the Chinese characters, the way they sound, what they mean. So I can learn Chinese, right? I may never talk to somebody in that language, but again, I might. I don't know, but I feel the calling within me. So discipline every day to practice. I'm also learning mobility exercises. It's not just about stretching and weight training, but it's about squatting on the floor, walking, in a position where you're not walking, but you're using your whole body in different positions, because I don't plan on getting old and my body deteriorating. My body's asking to get back the fascia flow that can help me instead of being in stiffness. So I need discipline. So I need knowledge, get some discipline. But I also tell you have to take that responsibility. So if I want it done, I can't just go and go, meh. It's like I have to overcome and look, how am I responding? If I'm responding, and responsibility is the ability to respond. And if I'm responding in a negative manner towards myself, then I'm not going to get the results I look for. So I have to begin to create a certain amount of structure. So Saturn is about discipline, responsibility, structure, but it's about patience as well. And this is where, if you get the wisdom and you learn how to process things, your life's going to get smoother. Okay. And then we have Uranus, and Uranus is about revolution, innovation, and freedom. And if your successes, safety, security, stability, sanity, serenity, and space, which is freedom, any of those are compromised, then here's where you're going to bring up, see, this is how I know I don't have my freedom. See, this is where I have to fight for my freedom. See? And so you need to heal those limitations, those beliefs, and the energy you put into that. Oh my goodness, I don't have my freedom. But if you allow yourself to resolve that, to evolve and heal instead of deal, then you can allow yourself with that independence and that need for change. And you will get this belief system that, oh, well, my thoughts were the ones that kept me from being free. I'm the one that put the meaning to them. And then you have Neptune. Neptune is a deep sense of empathy and compassion towards other, encouraging understanding and connections. And so as I'm talking to my husband this morning, he's like, okay, he was looking at all of these different ways of being and like how you were friends before, the rules have changed. So there's different ways. And we go into this sort of social skill thing that goes from one extreme to the other. But you need to find this third option. You need to have compassion for yourself and compassion for another. Now, if a person has a particular behavior where they'll be nice to you and then talk mean behind your back, you do not have to do the rules of engagement and have to be at the suffering of their hand. You can just say, I'm done, and walk away. But somebody go, oh, that's not being a good friend. And all of a sudden it's like, oh, I got to change. I did something wrong. So there's a whole lot of gaslighting going on. But if you were more your higher self, the more you heal out the aches and pains and these rule of engagements, then you won't have to be in a locked conflict way of being. And you don't have to be persuaded by all these different influences of beliefs or the collectives. So, like, many years back, there was, okay, this person hurt my feelings, but everybody else was like, oh, we need to gain minions and we need to do this and we need to attack and you need to be alpha and you need to be taking charge and you need to bully and you need to do this. And I'm like, I don't need to do any of those things. That's what you would do. Just get out of the way and let me take care of this. Oh, you're doing it wrong. Well, this is where arrogance and micromanaging can come into play, right? So it's like you have to understand that if you understand with your soul that this person is meant to be in your space, then you will heal and grow. But if you are doomed to keep repeating certain issues, you're going to keep them in your space. But there's a lot of growth. And this is the hard part of putting it in English, is that you're going to gather enough wisdom that you don't have to be the wounded healer. And this is where Chiron comes in and says, we have to touch your deepest emotional wounds and the potential for healing. So you're going to create these things. But if you are learning to go, oh, that hurts, it's less love, and then you measure it, it's a 10, and you use tools to transform out the emotional chemical peptide that is the key that's locking in your cells, telling your body, your 50 trillion cells, that this is who you're supposed to be. Now, if you learn to heal this, change this, then you can take out the negative and put in the positive. You're changing these frequencies. So you are intentionally being involved with how you're personally going to grow with more grace and ease, with whisper instead of a bitch slap. You can move forward. You don't have to stop the development. So listening to all of these things. So all of these planets, and again, I really feel it's the United States. It's going to happen everywhere, but I can really feel my roots happening, that we need to wake up instead of saying we have to follow the leader or that we have to follow these certain traditions and rules. Everything that has to do with restrictions of you can't do this, you can't wear white, you can't be that person's friend. And when you like, I didn't expect any of my friends to stop being friends with my ex. Some people aren't worried that, worry doesn't have to be in my space. I don't have to attract it. Whatever emotion you're doing, you attract it in and you have these stories. It's that simple. So I don't have to. So in manifestation, I do it a little bit differently. It's like, I don't have to be the wounded healer. I don't have to be in the victimhood. I don't have to do these things. And as I learn to take discipline, this is why these planets are important, is that you have these, you don't have to be the wounded healer. So we're moving out of the hero's journey and into the healer journey. And we're upgrading the 4 archetypes that all humans have, which is the child of many faces, from the natural child to the wounded child to, and then you go in transforming out and integrating and rising up with the wisdom, also the saboteur, the victim, and what's the fourth one? See who's listening. I'm not even sure if anybody's here. Hi, everybody. The prostitute, becoming less than. And it is, your growth is important. So when you are looking at, you care about another person, but do you have to be the problem? Meaning, oh my God, I can't do that because of these rules. Heal out how you could be the problem to your issue. Like, oh, we're going to talk about arrogance in just a moment, but you can move out of, what am I getting when I'm a wounded healer? What am I getting? So everything is serving to some point. And when you're finally realizing you don't have to see an enemy, you don't have to see the freedom, you can have these sudden changes, you can have these breakthroughs. And that's the one thing about Uranus is it is here, the quantum field is always presenting the opposite of whatever you're going through. So if there's a lot of negativity, you're going to find some, if you're looking with your heart-brain coherence, if you're looking with your spirituality, you're going to find this. So this is where then you're like, okay, the ability to respond. I'm going to tell you something about Saturn, though. It's that it's like karma is cause and effect. So are you on the effect side of the equation, or are you cause of it? Are you doing both? But you have to go within to be able to move forward. Do you understand? We want the spiritual expansion. This is what's happening. We have to learn how to process way differently than we're so used to. Wonderful, Katie. Yes, thank you so much for pain. And yes, we will get you to give you a reading in just a moment or so. I probably should open that up. That's a good reminder. How are you? Hi. Thank you for telling me you're here and that I'm just not talking to nobody. So hello. Okay, so the dream I had, it was rather bizarre. And I can't go into the detail because then it gives out too much information. So a person, people in your dream represent parts of you that have to evolve. And one of the things that I saw me is that, well, I can help. Now I can help, but if I take over, then I'm micromanaging. If I give it to you when it's not wanted, or how do you present yourself and so that people know you instead of, just staying hidden? And there's a certain amount of, if you're doing something well and and another person has not really done it, and if they're in that stage of, oh my God, they're going to judge me, and you're like, I'm not judging. But if you're looking and you see something that you learned, and so then you say to somebody, well, this is what I've learned, and they don't understand that, they're used to people coming and going, you're doing it wrong, and I know how to do it. And so they're used to people that are always trying to control things. And so when you look at arrogance, it's like, where is it in you that you're looking and you know that you had enough education or you've been in that experience that you know that that's going to be a different outcome. And you go to share that experience. But if that person is in a state of growth, then you may be raising your hand to be the enemy, the person that pisses them off, gets defensive. But where is it if you're not owning the fact that you are a spiritual being and you are just human, right? So if you're just human, you're going to probably get all pissy with this person and you're like, take over, and you have this exaggerated sense of your own importance and your own ability. So you know how to do it, but you don't allow the other person to fail to say, oh, well, that didn't work. Let me figure this out. We take that right away from somebody to grow. We take that right away for them to go to hit that parameter and say, oh, that didn't work, and then go ahead and look for the answer. We took that ability, not only the right away, but their ability to resolve, and then start to get people to rely on you so they will need you, and they can't trust themselves. This goes to the prince when the king says, oh, you son, you have fallen. Don't get up. And you're calling for staff to come pick up the prince. Now, the prince is out in the woods. He's by himself. Somehow he doesn't have his staff. He falls. But if he doesn't know that he can get up on his own, he's just going to lay there and die. Now, you're thinking, well, duh, just get up. Well, it's because you've been in a situation where you can just get up. Or you know that You're like, well, I don't want to be in this situation. I don't have to wait for the outside. I can do this myself. So then there's people that say, well, why didn't you just give some guidance? Why'd you just let me fall on my face? So it depends on who the person is on the other end of this. So where can you be the problem sometimes? And, you want to be proud that you know this knowledge, but you don't want to have to be like Sheldon. That's a good one. The show Sheldon, or in the Big Bang, that, you hold space that they're going to fail and you know it. You don't need to do that type of arrogance. If you know that they're going to do it wrong and they're the type of person that would take offense and you don't say it, don't worry about it. It's none of your business. But if they're the type of person that gets you to do everything, not from Canada, gets you to do everything, then there becomes a problem, because you will then feel, oh, I'm important. Well, you want to have boundaries. You want to help people, but you want them to help themselves. Have you guys had any of these experiences? How did you cope with it? What was your reactions? Talk to me. And as I give the show out each week, I would like to say, hey, if you can help out, that is, like, share this out to people. Share this out to people. And what are you sharing out? Well, here's a woman that sits here that helps you to see different perspectives, to get out of different ways that you're responding or looking at life. And again, you don't need to have drama or trauma. You can learn to get epiphanies. You can learn to, thank you very much for sharing. So it's up to you. It's up to you how you want to give back. So when people are like really arrogant and they're thinking, oh, I'm going to give back to how I know how to do my skill, which is fine. But again, if it is not warranted, or if the person is beginning to learn, just let them have that space. And you don't have to sit back and go, well, I could have done it better, or I'm mad because I can't do it. Then you're not growing. Thank you very much. You want to be able to say, wait. You don't want to always be looking at judgments and comparing. When I came over here, Australia does things just a little different. And so I had to learn those things. And if that meant I was going to do it wrong until I actually get the picture in my head, it's not because I'm stupid. It's because my brain is used to this pattern. And if I'm looking and I know the rule, but yet my body does auto program, it could cost me my life, or it can help me learn to resolve. But I'm going to learn, and my brain depends on that, because the brain says, I'm here to make everything efficient. So as we're going along, we're doing this, and it comes to an error, which doesn't have to be error, but comes into, oh, wait, that's not efficient, or that's not actually correct. You come into that parameter, and then it will look for the answer. And then once you do, then the brain recorrects itself and then adds that pattern so you can learn. And if you don't focus on it, and you don't repeat it, and you don't practice, you don't discipline, then what happens is the glial cells in your brain are like little vacuums. It cleans up and you forget. But you have to be choosing to want to be present and choose this timeline, this reality. So I'm 58. I woke up at 58 years old. This is my timeline. This is my fixed state. And I teach you how to become that. Okay. So, how are you guys doing today? I had a few experiences this weekend with people. Okay. And it helped you grow. Again, because sometimes we as humans, before we wake up, we're going to go, oh my God, that was chaos. That was hell. That was stress. But if you can go, okay, these are experiences. It could have been stressful, but because a lot of people run in their heads and try to solve it and be the hero, and then just makes things worse. Take your power back by healing. So I used EFT. All right, what else? Who else? Just double checking. So if the energies are a little wonky, it's because of the retrogrades. But thank you, but you don't have to be a victim to it. So if you are aware that this is breaking, you can either go into the negative path and just watch yourself spiral out of control, or you can go, okay, I'm going to take charge. And when it comes, I'm going to resolve in these unscripted moments. But the planets are here and the energies are here to help you create unity, come back together, come and make it so that instead of just conclusions, this and that, just coming back. Okay, something's got my attention. So here's the problem, I gotta run. Don't know if I should just leave the camera or what I should do. Yes, I'm gonna leave the camera for just a few seconds. I'm sorry, I have to take care of this, so give me just a moment. Just give me a moment. Thank you for waiting. So again, it's like, what happens when you have those little unscripted moments in life? How do you handle them? Well, did you notice how my brain was, oh, I've got to take care of this? One, I shouldn't have to leave a blank screen. Well, people do it. Two, should I call upon somebody to come on and take that space to fill in that time? Because when I was doing shows online, or I should say radio shows, so there is no picture, you didn't have a dull moment. So I've got history, I'm looking at my experiences, what should I do? And so it's like, get out of that space. Thank you, Spirit. What should I do? And it was like, everything's going to be fine. I'm like, oh, okay. So how do you approach these experiences? And one of the things that have been coming in has been, I love the show. And my protocol shape that has been born way before the show began, but the show helped me like perfect it, like be able to understand the emotions, read the fields, and all that. Is that I need to go deeper to some degree. And so I've been developing this, what does the body say? But yet it's not quite the body, but yes, it is. Because if you haven't resolved it, it will show up as an issue in the body. Okay. But at the same time, I don't need to look at symptoms. We're looking at patterns. Okay. You take a bunch of emotions and belief systems, and it comes out to be certain patterns. And so I labeled some of these. You're a seething volcano, you're up against the wall, you have slave feelings, your assassination, burning to be free. So it is to take all these things that we can still use the same tools, but I'm also developing a little bit of different acupuncture tools that can help us go a little deeper, because we're working with the physical, mental, emotional, and spiritual aspects of ourself. Ooh. Okay, so I said to people, if you want a reading, I'll give you a free reading. But if you want, but you're not going to get any healing tools. You're just going to get a quick read. But otherwise, no healing tools. And if you want that, you can pay for it. We do have two people coming on today. We have Katie, and then we have Amy. So like Autumn, you usually like getting a card or a reading. So Autumn, do you mind if I this is a very short list, even it's 4 pages, but I can easily make many more pages. But I have to develop a way to read them. And so would you play? Do you want me to use my new tool or my new way of looking at this to see what spirit wants you to know? Vicki, I don't know who else is here. Okay, so Amy, thank you. So there's right now all I have is 58, and so we're going to learn together. So with Amy in this list here, spirit already knows, and so they said they want me to look at number 44. I'm like, okay, this is where you developed and trust spirit. Because you're like, I don't even know what 44 says. But 44 is self-flagellation. In this case, it is systemically. So it's all over. Self-rejection. And so you're standing in a position where you have been taught that you're supposed to reject all of yourself. Okay? And so you're supposed to do self-hatred. So it's like rejection. So if you look, it is in the family that your behavior was unwanted, not you, but then you also have the abandonment card too. So you have, I'm unwanted, I'm unwanted. So the theme is that you're unwanted, but self-flagellation is to punish themselves all the time. So where are you punishing yourself that you've done it wrong, you said it wrong, you're looking at somebody and they're responding and the body says, uh-oh, and then it starts to punish itself. And you've grown so much mentally and emotionally and spiritually, but this is on a physical from what I can feel. And so this shows up as success. I have success, but then you're like, wait, it doesn't feel right. So old ego intuition is saying, oh, I don't deserve this. I must beat myself up. If I get success, I'm somehow have to beat myself up. Does that make sense? And so you're demoralizing and demonstration of your self-worth. You have to disconnect. You can't be open-hearted. You have to demonstrate. And so have you had things in your space recently where you know you have your self-worth, you have your value, and yet the universe somehow is showing you that deep within you have a program that says that you're supposed to reject if you have success, and if you did, then you have to show yourself that you don't deserve it. And does that make sense? Okay, she said yes. All right. So again, no healing tools. Yes, use your healing tools, but I'm not giving you one. So let's look at Miss Autumn. And they want me to go to 24. All right, so 24. Intimate enemy treatment. The environment energy is server just, okay, so the intimate enemy can be you. You can be the enemy of yourself. But the environment is so judgmental that it is very personal. And so look up the word intimate, okay? And it's not to do with sex, but it is that bonding. So how you bond with the environment is that you have to always see people being judgmental in some form. So there's a perception that instead of seeing clearly, you're supposed to see through this. And as soon as you start to see through it, then another thing appears. And it's not quite as clear as it should be. So begin to look at how would you treat your enemy. So this is where you'll go and you're like, oh, there's my enemy. And you're going to start with these negative thoughts. And then you're going to do what? And you're going to keep going. And what do you do to your enemy? You sit there and you hate them, right? You sit there and I don't know if it leads to revenge or if it leads to getting back. Depends on how you do it. So this is what you'd look at. Does that make sense? That's up to you. Does that make sense? Okay. Oh, all righty. If anybody else wants that type of particular reading, let me know. Let's see. I'm going to shut this down. Oh, why can't I get to my screen? Come on. Because it's just weird. You're a TikTok newbie. That's what that oh, on the TikTok. Oh, sorry. Hi. Gotta find out who is the newbie and give you a free reading. And if that's you, then say yes, please. Because so it's that screen. Can I get a reading? Ah, see it pinned. Wonderful. Your name is Sherry. Yes. All right. Now, when I give you a reading, you can go over to YouTube later and you can see your name. Now, what you can't see is a clock behind me. That's your timestamp. So here we go. Hi. Nice to meet you. All right. Now, I'm going to do two things here. One, use my new sheet as well as use my old sheet. So they're saying they want me to look at false alarms, self-made person, belief. I'm all I got. Now, again, one, none, or all of what I say could make sense. So look for what resignation. Felt cut off from the universe in all their life. Handle it on their own, unassisted. Excessive, out of control feelings, anxiety. Have to handle it on my own. Beyond coping capabilities. Never received love. If that makes any sense, then yes or no, depending on what you want. Again, one, none, or may apply. But one of the things your soul is saying is that it is hard to stay grounded, especially if you have energies of feeling timid. Now, if we look through the face of the age you are now, are you timid? No. This is you're 3 years old. So your physical body is in the state of feeling anxiety. No matter how old you get, it's so used to being in the background that you don't know it. So do you have any symptoms? Do you have any physical things that are going on? You're probably so used to you may not even notice. But the physical body literally is saying that I don't want to do it again. But you have to do it again every day. Okay? Does that make sense? Does that make sense? Tired all the time. And I'm going to say, is this tired all the time have anything to do with what we just described? Yes. And it's on a physical level. Now, because you're new, I've never read you before, I will give you a particular healing that goes with it. One of the healings that we have is called a pH, and the pH healing stands for physiology healing. So the physiology aspect, which is how the nerves are telling the spine and telling the body that it has to be, they're saying that it's time for you to look at it. And so if we were to say, looks like you have territorial control. Some people keep getting into your space. You always have to defend your territory. But anyways, I'm looking at the L5. I'm looking at how the L5, the lumbar region. So if you were to put your hand on your head and make sure you're touching the top, okay? And you're thinking of, if you can resonate with what I said, and then as far as like these territory things, but I would say look at false alarm somehow, that I'm all I got. You can go down to the back. Let me get this thing. Now, if you can locate L5, so L5 is usually like women has their waist a little bit higher depending on how much, do you have some weight or no weight, but it's usually along the hip line. So following the hip line across, you then can tap. So for instance, I will take an object or my own hand and I will bang on that spot, but I'll be breathing in and out, fully in and out 3 times, thinking and holding that spot and tapping the L5. And you don't have to tap hard, just create like a tsunami wave of, and that's, but begin to measure. What does it feel like? Okay, so in one response, the body can say, I don't have to show this up this way every time. So we're just helping on a certain level. Hi, Miss April Lynn. Okay, so anybody else here who want a particular read from my new protocol sheet, that's free, but no healing tool. If you want a healing tool, then you can pay 5, 15, or 25. That's up to you. And we can go from there. Now, did Vicki say she wanted it or not? Anybody else over on these other screens, you can rewatch this on YouTube, Medicine Woman Soultion, that's Soultion. Okay, I see that someone's paid. I can send, oh, thank you very much. I appreciate that. Now, so anything in particular? It looks like what Spirit wants. So you ready to receive this right now, Miss April? So once I get that back, so Miss Vicki, so real quick, we're going to look, they want me to look at 17. So happiness horror. They have an intense, persuasive, or clutching fear, and that is, the root of it is that some joy or happiness. Okay, so you have happiness. If I'm happy, then the shoe will drop. If I'm happy, then I have to feel this impending doom that I'm going to be attacked. It is remind you that you're like undeserving. Oh, I'm happy. Oh no, I'm undeserving. So you have to feel this particular being attacked. It's like Spirit had said, it's like reminds you of the concentration camps when they would like, not supposed to eat the food, but if they've taken put a little crumb in their mouth, they're like, oh, this happiness, right? Out of all the hell that they're in, then they can turn around and get shot for doing it. So you're being trained into doing and keeping away happiness. Now the body wants the happiness, but at the same time it can't, because it feels like if I manifest and get this happiness, I shouldn't. So that'd be the root that you part of it wants to heal. Somehow it violates the order that you learned, or cosmically something's wrong. And again, it's that feeling state. Measure it, heal it out. You're doing it wrong, even if you're doing it right. So I'm trying to figure out why I put that in there. It's a belief that you don't deserve. You're taught to believe, and you're governed by this intense emotions or intense abandonment. You're governed by this, and there's no self-governing. The emotions are controlling you. And so it's like if somebody put the root of it is that severe restrictions or disapproval, or if there was some morals that came from a different place, put the fear into the child, which is how I grew up, so you're supposed to behave, the fear of judgment, or just even believe that out there is this punitive place, this judgmental, harmful place. But anyways, you can begin to heal this. Okay. Miss April Lynn. Now, we're going to start this off. Hopefully she's here. I didn't see her say it, but that's okay. I'm going to do it anyway. One of the things I'm seeing, and on my new protocol sheet, is that it says, oh, which one do you want? It says intuition avoidance. Okay, so there's this avoiding the inner knowing. So the program is kind of almost preventing you from getting to know this. But what I'm looking at is the truth and perception, the reality, your capabilities. It's like, I can't go there. So certain things, if you have an automatic response, you can be over rational and fearful, and so then of reality, which you'll avoid, or you'll deny that the environment is very dominating, and therefore you can't access this. And if you were to really access the great knowledge of understanding with your intuition, then that could lead to pain or potential disaster. So there's a party that says, if I go there, it could unleash World War III because I'm being more me. Not that you're standing up for yourself. It is to to do the simple things, just to be it and walk it and talk it. So I asked, let's go a little deeper on this. And what I'm getting is that there's this, I have an experience where I failed. And as this one comes in, as you're learning to be more, use your more of your spiritual inner knowing. And it's not to all people. So there's like some people that you will hold back on using it. And therefore, and I say, well, why? Well, that has a lot to do with that particular signature. It's just easier to go into the program of silent brooding, sitting there thinking about how you didn't get to do or didn't get to speak or you didn't get to, even though you stood up and you said and you did, but yet there's this gameplay coming in. I feel like with that, you are stuck with certain type of gaslighters. So, the comforting gaslighter, you know, they'll look like they're giving and yet they're not. It's confuse you. So you're waking up to this part of you that, yes, this is in my space. I don't have to have the fear of being controlled with this person, with this place, but yet it is part of a root that says, I have been controlled so much, I fear. And so therefore, R2D. Okay, so they're showing me, like, for instance, let's say you okay, so you know what hoarding is, right? You know, like those shows where people keep everything, they can find meaning to every single thing and reasonings for every reason why they keep it. And they can't see that that space is getting that way. Well, when I'm looking at this, there's a part of you that's saying, I can't see. I don't want to see the disdainfulness that people carry in their body and that they put it out. So if I put things in my space I like, then I don't have to feel the disdainfulness. Now, in this, in regards to that, Spirit is telling me it's important that we need to look this up. So we just don't take things from what our own belief is. So disdain meaning has everything to do with that someone or something is unworthy of one's consideration, respect. Now, this could be a built-in, so you can feel when somebody don't get their way and they hold contempt, and you can feel it. Or if you're doing your thing and they look over and they're like, I don't like your thing, so they scorn you. And so when that happens, there's a part of you that says, I'm not getting the respect I deserve. And why aren't you respecting me? Why are you doing this to me? And then the you know your worth, but yet at the same time, it is this unbelievable energy feeling that if we were to look up unworthy, it is, I'm not supposed to get attention, healthy attention or respect. If we were to look up, don't be nice to me and all this other stuff, if we were to look up respect, how come you're not getting that admiration? And they like that part of you. They like your behavior. They like your qualities. They like your abilities. They like your achievement. How come they're not able to admire that? It's like you've done all this and they can't see that. They're only focusing on this. And so you're like, why am I not getting this respect? So notice where maybe it is that I can feel like I feel the age 44 that keeps creeping in. And if I look at 44, I said, so what is this all about? And they're telling me that if I look at the floatsome feelings, That's defenseless. Having to allow others to take control and run the situation. So all of those things there boils down to, well, they always take charge. I'll just let them take charge. But it's also, I have to let them take charge or they throw a fit. Or this is how we usually do it. But you're expected to eat shit. You're supposed to have this learned helplessness, don't have the right to be protected, supported, or nurtured, especially if they're in this space where they can't control things. If they can't control things, then love and respect just go out the window. Oh, you were thinking about your, okay, the other systems are not communicating. Okay. You have to remember you had your family, and if they picked up in the first 7 years or even afterwards, which family or which parent to follow, then if they were taught they're not supposed to respect you, or they were taught that, or your energy says, I'm not getting respected, and so therefore they have to give you, because you're feeling I'm not being respected. So you have to see that, feel that, and usually they'll be in a different mindset than you. And this is where I had to learn was, oh, they're really being who they are. So I don't need to judge that. I can just, I am not my kids. I know this. But usually the environment is that 0 through 7 years of age, you hardly had any rights at all. So there's no rights. You have no rights. And so you will take that and draw into you a loved one and somebody that's going to make you feel like you have no rights. So heavy negative emotions took place, and no one knew how to process. And because nobody knew how to process all these negative emotions, then you are carrying that with you. And then you attract some people in that if they have to control themselves or other people because they don't know how to take care of these negative emotions, then that's what you're going to see. So just, there's a part that this is just what's called life. I have to accept this. Now, you don't have to. So your identity in the relationship to be oppressive or an invasive family, immediate and direct action, being stopped by unconscious mind and universe have participated in the events that stops the direction that you were going in. I'm going to go over here, but you're constantly being stopped. Well, no, 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 no. You can't go over there, to the point where you feel like, I can't go over there. So you have to completely reassess, and change is required, and a dramatic intervention is required. So again, if you're more determined, you're going to keep doing this, they're determined to stop you. So there's a process. So did your mother ever stop you because she had her fears? And I'm so used to having somebody take control of your world. And so I really feel you are breaking and going there. So I think if you went R2D, you had developed a little bit of fear of missing out, because every time you went to go get what you wanted, you were told no. And so you had to harbor that fear. No, I can't have that fear of missing out, because I don't know how to handle that. I have to handle what's going on here. So yeah. New job is fabulous. Oh, you have a new one. And my body doesn't feel like, oh, and my body doesn't feel like these. My body aches and doesn't like the energy at the place. Okay, so what I'm going to tell you, go a little bit more, is the body. If I said, do you want to do pH? They go, no, they want you to learn to use fascia. In this case, I'm actually creating a new healing tool for fascia. So fascia, learn to squat, learn to use your hinges, your joints, and your shoulders. So learn to hang. If you can't hold your own weight, then rest your feet on the floor and just kind of hang. But your fascia is like water, and the water is restricted. It's not moving, and it can't change its shape. And so if you have that already happen and you have these energies, the body is saying, I can't cope with it, even though mentally and emotionally and spiritually you are coping with it. But the fascia, so you may have to learn how to do like squats, not just squatting, but like if you had to go to the bathroom. Can you get on your feet and sit down, knees over toes, so that you can look in a cupboard? Can you get up and off the floor without assistance or without your hands or without your knees, but use your feet only? These particular ways of being is that our fascia gets restricted. And because of it, then we get interference pattern more and more. So learning to use mobility, flexibility, mobility with the age that we are, we can open up and get the fluidity back into the fascia instead of having old restrictions. And because of the fascia is already restricted, and then you go into a place that has those energies, the body, even though, how do you want to put it? Your body is saying, this is my accumulation of my age. And in this day and age, that doesn't have to be true. That does not have to be true. And the more that I do my, I call them potty squats, is that as if you imagine that you didn't have a toilet and you know, like how you just squat over a hole, squat over something, but you're learning to squat. But also I've learned that if I get down, I can also be on my toes while full weight, or have my knees over toes, because we were taught long ago, oh no, it's wrong to have knees over toes. But no, that's what you need. Your fascia is not flowing because the old patterns have not been removed. So you can get a fascia blaster and literally rub on your skin where you're tight, because it's not just about muscle, it's about the fascia. I feel that. Okay, again, I have less, I mean, because as soon as I went through menopause, lack of hormones, I had them before, and I had all these things, and I'm fortunate enough to take and have use golden flaxseed to help put in the feminine stuff, wild jam, and my body will accept it. So but it's mobility. So me and my husband says, well, now that we're past a certain age, all we have to do is now start to reverse the clock by, it isn't just about strength training or exercises, but twist yourself in a pretzel. The body's fascia needs us. And that means that it needs to be put into situations that it can get itself off. So as I'm laying on or sitting on the ground, my weight prevents me from actually rolling in a position so I can get up off the ground with just my feet. I have learned that I can get off the ground without my hands. It's knee assist, but that's way better than what I had before. My spine is not doing that awful thing. So using my body, using the fascia, balancing the fascia, I can stand up, legs straight, put my hands flat on the floor when I bend over. So you will do mobility training, flexibility. So a lot of ankles and toes, because your ankles and toes help the lower back. And hanging. I could never put my arms up, right? Well, now I can go up and then I can turn them. Before, you would never notice that I turned them. Okay, before it'd be just like, oh, I'm turning, I'm doing it. You couldn't see it. But now I've got actual movement, which is I didn't have before. The body needs you. It does not need to age. And the reason aging really occurs is because the fascia, year after year, does not get used, doesn't get stretched. The frequencies don't change. We need to be remembering that we're in the body, and the body it's not even just in the body is your spirit. Okay, but you can't see or work with the body unless you start to use that you are one with this biochemical meat suit. Yes, I needed on that getting up without pulling myself up. Yes, and that's the thing, is that we It has nothing to do with we're supposed to accept that because we're older. It shouldn't have never lost the ability. But we never put importance on that. It has the ability. It's just the fascia needs us to help it. See, so I would do exercises and I would do cardio. I would even weight train. And yes, it helped sculpt me. But the thing is I never took care of the fascia, which really restricts your lymphatics. And it's like my body's like, oh, and my B vitamins never got to get to my nerves and everything got restricted. So now I'm reversing this. And the main thing I noticed was we have to work with the water in our body, which is the fascia. So if you take an orange and you're looking at all of the little compartments, you have the rind, you open it up, you see all this moisture and then all these things that hold that moisture. That's exactly what your body does. You have all these fascia and fluids and things like this that they're webs. They're literally our webs. And our web is getting gunked up. We need to get that fluidity back. Okay, let me put this in here. Quick. Yep. All right, puzzle piece going in. Puzzle piece going in, and it's the lift off. I can't get my thumb. Yes, you can. Try it again. All right, not working. Wow, I cannot get my thumb to do this. Let's see if I can this thumb. Oh, that's weird. You're welcome. So the body is literally asking us to participate. There's several different wonderful flexibility coaches out there. And if you can just learn to hang and squat as your first attempt, and if you can only do it for, and I do it with my timer, and if you can only do 10 seconds, don't beat yourself up. Every day discipline, 10 seconds could be 11 seconds. And then before you know it, you can do it for almost a full minute. You eventually want to get to the point when you're squatting is that you can sit there for 30 minutes. Okay. Now, the trick of getting up is that you don't use your knees to get up. You use your ass to get up. So while you're down in that squatting position, lift your ass and let your ass lift you, because fluidity of the fascia is that your muscles are not meant to move you. Your fascia is. They did a study on kangaroos and they're like, oh, wow, they're only going, 5 miles per hour. But then, so that means they're using this amount of energy. Oh, look at them. They're going 13 miles per hour and they're using supposedly great amount of energy. But they didn't. And then they started measuring in athletes. And what they found out is you're not using more energy or more muscle. They were using their fluidity, their fascia, to become better athletes, to get to where they needed to go. You didn't expend the energy and burn out. So fascia, we're just now starting to learn how important it is. Okay. Alrighty. Now, I got to get the link and we'll go over and get Katie. Katie, warning, I'm going to start to come over and get the link to send to you. Just got to get my hair out of my face. Oh, got to look it up. Oh, there she is. There you go. So, how's everybody else doing while I'm waiting? Are you getting this? Are you getting to look at life without judgment? You can look and see how you participate. Like I'll ask my husband to critique the way my stance is, and because we sit there and we ask and we get feedback, and if I need to be a little stand closer to the barbell, I will, or if I am not, if I look straight and he's like, no, your knees bent a little bit, then I sit there and I work on it, and I do a lot of elephant walks and really help open me up. And so you can feel it. There'll be less pain, energy's moving through, you're more flexible. Does that make sense? So Katie, I sent you the link. Let's see if, oh, there you are. There you are. Oops, got to get the right view here. Excellent. Yeah. All right, just click one more button for me. All right, just click one more button for me. Okay. I'm going to mute you, and you need to mute me that's on the radio. Now we can have you. Okay, good. Now we can just ask you to unmute.
Sorry.
How can I help?
I've just been having obviously I've been going through a lot of grief and been trying to figure out how to process that, but it's kind of like um life has come to like a complete halt, and there's like this just all this old stuff coming up, and I know that that's kind of the energies that are happening at the moment, but it's just big themes of like, I suppose, self-doubt.
Okay.
And almost like I had a situation yesterday where someone asked me what I wanted to do, like did I want to stay or did I want to leave? And I couldn't, it's like all my senses were not working, like the wrong thing was connected to the wrong thing, and I don't really know how to explain it, but
Okay. So I'm going to take and look at the gathering. So there's this like emotions, belief systems. The first thing that comes in is a purposeful ungrounding. So I'm looking at your tendons. So I don't know if you have any tendon issues or not, but I'm looking at your tendons. And what your tendons are saying is that there's an unwillingness. So we have to look at where what part of you in the past is unwilling to do something, to put their plans into action. So, you're this age, I'm putting my plans into action, but you learn something in the past that says, I'm not willing to put my plans into action. So, or make intentions doable. So there's run amok anxiety that is coming in and saying, no, don't put your plans in action. So fear of letting themselves go. If I did, then, and then you pause and it's like, okay, I have to sever my self distrust. I can't trust myself. I'm not supposed to trust myself. So when you decide, okay, I'm going to be full on me, I'm going to make all this happen, then World War III, swear to God, you created it. Okay. And all of a sudden, everything goes amok, everything goes wrong. So there's a root. Do you understand what I mean so far?
yeah, and the tendons, I have like this, my whole left leg, like right from my hip all the way to my ankle and my toes. The tendons are so painful I can hardly walk.
Okay. So your fascia is
Yeah.
saying I have to be the frequency has to be restricted. So when you have water coming out of the faucet, and then you play certain frequencies, the water changes shape. Okay. So
Yeah.
your tendons that are speaking at this moment are saying, I can't trust myself. And even though you're this age and going, I trust myself, I'm doing this. But it's like you unleashed World War III. It's like whatever you choose to do, everybody else is going to get pissed off, or you're going to attract bad things in.
Yeah.
So they go a little bit further. What else I wrote was you grew up. So part of that root was you grew up that did you ever see in your family wrong? They always did wrong making. It's wrong. Your fault. It's wrong. So the environment is always trying to control you. Well, and even if you go and you start doing your happy thing, they start losing their shit because they can't process. You're not showing up the way they want and they can't handle it. Therefore, you then, and I'm asking, is there a particular age? And they said, well, about 5 years old. Is that okay? You as a child with the cognitive ability is very low. So you would have went, okay, oh my God, they can't process, right? You don't know that. You just know that they're losing their crap. And so what does this mean to survive? How do I process this? And you controlled yourself. And you start
Yeah.
noticing a pattern that if I'm me, then they're going to act like that. So therefore, so I asked when they act that way, you had anxiety. You felt deficient. You had to make yourself deficient to make everything appropriate. And it's like, do you need their, is it about being their approval? I go, not as much as is that their worry, I believed them. I convinced myself that they were right. And so this is where I feel like you're kind of wishy-washy and waffly. You don't know you're doing it. Okay. You have no clue. So this is where Big Katie has got to look at her little one and go, oh, I can see this. So we have to find out where you can't make the commitment to just stay in the groove of who you are, and to you're like, nobody's looking. Okay, I'm gonna heal. Nobody's doing. Oh, look, here's my break. I'm gonna do this. Like you coming on here, it's like, oh, okay, everything's okay. Let's do this. And then as soon as you get off, you have to like watch over your shoulder, wait for that shoe to drop. And then you're like, nope, today I'm forcing myself. And then you do it, and then it all goes bad. And it's like, hey, I told you so. Do you understand? Your child part of you can't get past when we were the right. Yeah. Makes sense? So what happens inside of you is that, so we see purposefully ungrounded and then seething volcano. So deep down, you have some resentment or anger that you were not meant to feel. You're like, I've suppressed that thing so long ago, you don't even know it's boiling. Does that make sense?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. I'm looking at this, and so, but it shows up as irritation and inflamed. So do you have like immune system issues? Do you have like, do you get sick often? Okay. So it says you're so used to restrictions and overworked and over responsibility. You were supposed to be the responsible one. You're supposed to do this. That you have to keep depriving yourself and keep showing up as you're the one. Okay. So then, like I said, this experience of conflict, irritation, frustration, and reject the situation. Okay, this is in the now moment. And then you're going, this is my life right now, and I don't like it, nor do I know how to live happily accepting it. Okay, so you're literally just in minefields right at this point. Yeah. So you as a spirit being over-identified with matter. And they said the main thing you over-identified with matter is that I did miss out. It's like I'm supposed to miss out so that they're quiet. I have to give up so that because they don't know how to process. Yeah. All right. So we know this. Is there anything else particular? They said, have you gotten to the stage where all of a sudden you can't take it anymore and you're like the tea kettle that finally loses and blows its top? Okay.
And yeah, definitely. Like at the moment, I'm just really angry. And I also feel like I'm in the middle of a desert with a blank bit of paper and have no idea what to do with the next 40 years, kind of.
Right. Because your purpose was always to please them. Yeah. Your purpose was always to be, let me wear the hat. So you're changing identities. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So your father is no longer here, but are you still controlled by other family members? Yeah. Okay. Oh, that's interesting. Have they placed upon you? Hold on. I'm not hearing it correctly. I don't want to say a disease. That's not it. Labeled you. Did they label you as that there's something wrong with you, and therefore you won't achieve much in life because you have these issues? Do you understand? It's like they're deliberately saying you're dumb. They're deliberately saying that you can't develop. It's like, this is what you were taught. And you know that's not true. Yeah. Yeah. Okay, so we have to look at that part that the unconscious mind is still playing. Now, we know these are true. So if you were to work on it, so purposely ungrounded, you would want to look at how your heart is one, I have to give up my expectations. I'm supposed to. It's the right thing to do. You were so convinced that you had to. Okay. Yeah. So you would end up doing like L1D, left wrist first position deep, right? Now, I want you to hold that because that's where we're going to begin. And I want you to hear what I just said. I can't be confident. I don't want my heart crushed. But at the same time, you're going to hold that, and you're going to focus on how this is my quote identity. I have to keep showing up as purposely ungrounded. I have to show up as, if I'm fully me, then World War III, chaos. My environment is going to be chaos. What number would you say that is?
Like a 10, easily.
All right. All right. So go back to L1D. See, this doesn't allow you to even commit fully to what you want to do. You're
No,
supposed to
not
be
at all.
lost. You're
Yeah.
supposed to be lost. All right. So now, as you're feeling this, and I can't be confident because I'll get my heart crushed, I want you to feel how this identity, like what I just described, that you're supposed to be this soothing volcano. You're always supposed to be ungrounded. And if I be me, they're all going to be mad at me.
Yeah.
This doesn't serve. So notice how you're done because it's no longer serving, but you can't get out of it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because it's my identity. It's familiar. So if you really look at this familiar of how you know your life, your people, my identity, this is a false one. You don't need it. But just stare it down. Because this is what stops you from having your dreams. And notice your thoughts. A statement or two here and there might start to pop up. And if you can say them out loud, you can let me know.
It's kind of like I'm expected to fail.
Okay, good. Now notice those are the rules that are written in there, expected to fail. Now, when you look at that expected, notice that you have to fulfill that.
Yeah.
Now, that's even a different number, yes?
And that's about a 7.
Okay. Now, keep looking at them. Keep looking at them. Feel the familiar. That feels like home. That feels like peace. Oh, this is familiar. But at the same time, you can't stand it.
Yeah. Um, the other thing is it's like I'm not allowed to be more successful than them.
Right. Not allowed. Remember, that's what we said. Not allowed. Notice there's no right. I'm not allowed. Feel that restriction. What number is it?
It's about a 6.
Okay, so this is Cinderella. Did you like the book Cinderella?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. See, you're meant to be Cinderella. So if you've identified with that, then notice that you can't grow out of that restriction.
Yeah. Oh.
Very good, very good. Keep listening, keep healing.
Which is really interesting because my whole childhood I was treated like Cinderella. Like
Okay.
it was like that was my reason for existing, was to be,
Of service.
yeah, to
Okay.
them.
Yes, exactly. So notice that to have a servitude, that you're supposed to be a slave. But notice how you've identified with that, okay?
Yeah.
Is you keep holding with your heart, again, this identity. We've memorized ourselves as this identity. I can feel how that the moment you start to walk past it, you have to pull yourself back. You've identified with Cinderella so much so that who would you be if you were no longer Cinderella? Well, I don't want to be my ugly stepsisters or ugly stepmom type feeling. But there's more than just Cinderella. But the child wouldn't have known that. She identified herself as that. But feel the restriction. Feel how capped it is. Feel how I can't go past that. Feel how there's this invisible wall.
It's like being able to see over the wall, and I can see everything that's possible, but I can't get to it.
Right, right, because there's a belief that I'm not allowed. I don't have permission. They're going to hurt me. They're going to put me back. So feel how that let's say I put a ladder there and you're like, but I can't climb it because if I do, they're just going to catch me and bring me back.
Yeah. Yeah.
I want you to really feel how that you got all the answers to get out, but you can't use them because if you do, they're going to lose their crap.
Yeah.
They always win. They always will hurt. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yeah.
Go back and measure that expected to fail. What number is that?
Out of 4.
Okay, notice that you're healing. You got it down from a 7. When you go back to the idea that I'm Cinderella, because it helps explain who you are, what number would that be now?
5.
Okay. Now, again, if you were to look at I am failure, this is familiar, this is my life, would you be able to see your life any other way? No.
No.
You went to Fiji. Something happened in Fiji. It should have worked. You went and stepped in with your intentions, and bad shit happened. They're right type of energy. See, we told you so. Did that happen? Begin to see how that limitation, that restriction is actually happening. This program is saying, I know where the parameter is, and it cannot be broken. See, feel how strong this belief is that,
Yeah.
and why I have to keep holding this. But notice that I don't want to be crushed. So when you were doing your thing and they were losing their crap, could you feel how crushed you were?
Yeah.
That's what I want you to notice about, is that you were crushed because you were choosing you. And they didn't want you to do that. You were crushed. Now notice how you could not cope, handle, deal with being crushed. Your heart was crushed. How did it know to be crushed? Did they use guilt and shame? Did they or pretend like they cried? How did you know to pull yourself back? Okay, I can't cope with being crushed, my heart being crushed.
Just take their love away.
Say it again.
It's like they take their love away.
Very much so. Now, notice as they take it away, how much you can't be you, how much you believe without it, I'm nothing.
Yep.
But it's not true because you can't see the love as being provided other places. But notice how you can't stop looking at how the love is being taken away.
Yeah.
Now, again, as soon as that love starts being taken away, why do you become less than? Feel with your heart. Why is it true? Stop, look around. Is there other people to love you? You may not think there is, but they know how to punish to get what they want. You do not have to be controlled that way.
Yeah.
So take back your power and say, I don't have to believe this. I don't need that kind of love. This isn't really love. And your child is saying, yeah, but I need them to live. No.
Yeah.
Now feel again how that child really felt their heart crushed, and that how with the way others people's feels, you're supposed to feel with guilt and shame. You're supposed to be the one that has to be deficient. You're supposed to be the one to change it. But feel how you are supposed to be the one to change that expectation. Not them, me.
Yeah. Yeah.
Now again, are you crushed? Can you feel the crush, and what number is it?
That feels like an 8.
Now notice how this whole meaning, this pulled away love, this meaning, I'm crushed, I'm crushed, I'm crushed. Notice how the child part could not see that there's anything else. And so without that, it's like, I'm going to die. I don't know what to do. So therefore, you have to become less than in order to receive. So there's a part of you that says, I did miss out. Now, I'm going to listen to this. So you wanted something, you got punished, and you could not get your heart's desire. Okay? I missed out because I was a bad girl. So notice, not only are you heart crushed because they took away the love, but notice, let's say you wanted to go to the petting zoo, like everybody else was or something.
Yeah.
You couldn't because you're being punished. You missed out. So the other side of the coin is I feel crushed, but I also missed out. I know what being missing out means. That's why Cinderella is always missing out.
Yeah. Yeah.
You have these two parts of yourself that are focused on loss. I'm crushed and I missed out. So your job is to continue to keep healing, because you can't get to the fact that you have to give up expectations to live, which is another healing point. It's not the heart.
Yeah.
But you have to see this pattern. You, as your spiritual insight, you keep disrupting, using healing tools, whatever it is. I missed out. Now you keep dropping into this forever. I don't have a purpose. And that's because this program is trying to pull you in two different directions, but it's also trying to keep you down. Spirituality is, wait a minute, I don't have to believe my own BS.
Yeah. Yeah.
And be done with it. Okay? So you're going to continue to measure, and you're going to look at this crushed and missing out. Not that I fear I've missed out. I know I missed out. Okay?
Yeah.
And your heart is meant to heal this. Yeah, you had the experience, but you don't have to stay as the experience. Does that make sense?
Yes.
So the one tool you'll continue to do is L1D. All right. Okay. But you're going to have to do the research on how often you need to see, oh, look, I missed out. Oh, I can't do this. I don't want to feel that I'm missing out. Okay. So if you go to do something, then you're missing out. So like when you were in Fiji, your dad was sick?
Oh, Bali.
Bali, sorry.
Yeah.
Fiji.
Yeah.
Okay. So did you feel like you were missing out when you were in Bali? Or were you told you were missing out?
It was more like I'd created this opportunity for myself, and it was taken away. Not because of my dad, but because of the situation that happened. And so I'd worked so hard to have this experience for myself, and then it was taken away.
Okay, but notice you're missing out because it was taken away.
Yeah.
But your father, I just asked, was he sick when you were there?
Yes. Oh, a little bit.
Yeah. Okay. Did any of your family members make you feel like shit because you should be here to take care of him?
No, I made myself feel like that.
There you go. Okay. So there's a part of you that says, if I go to success, then I know that I'm missing out. I should be. So now you can look at your family and say, okay, so was somebody a workaholic in your family?
Both my parents.
So they missed out on their kids.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. So you're going to keep repeating this pattern. If I go after my dreams, I'm going to miss out on other things in life. Yeah. And I don't want to miss out on other things, so I won't go after my dreams. Hear what I just said.
Yeah. Okay.
This is what you saw with your family.
Yeah.
So it's deeper, even deeper than that. So you need to really start to journal about, I don't want get my heart crushed, but at the same time, I missed out. So if your family was talking about, oh, I worked all the time and I missed out, you can feel their energies.
Yeah.
Or I didn't get to go to I didn't get to go to do this, and so I missed out. Everybody else got to, but I didn't. So again, stop over-identifying with being Cinderella.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it's up to you to change the meanings. Okay?
Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you so much. Did you get anything out of this?
Yeah, I really did. And I can see where I'm holding a lot of my grief, because I feel like I missed out on a life with him as well, because he got a new family. He found a new family, and so
there you
I
go.
can see
that's
where
what you would be journaling. There you go. And then you can measure it.
So,
and you can use EFT and other things as well.
Yeah, so that makes a lot of sense. So thank you so much.
Oh, you're welcome. And thank you so much for coming on and caring about yourself. And thank you for the energy exchange. Okay, well, we will talk to you later. Okay. All right. Bye. All righty. Did you learn something from that? Because it is important that we begin to because see, it wasn't just one root. It started to spin into something bigger, but it was repeating itself. So if we can begin somewhere, in this case, it was for her to begin in her heart, even though the emotions said, I have to give up my expectations, you know, but we couldn't begin there. We had to begin in the heart, because the other one's found in the small intestine. Okay. All right. If there's anybody here that wants a quick little read, again, no healing tools, but I can give you a read, just double checking and checking in. Remember, if you had a reading, you can go over to YouTube and rewatch it again. The timestamp is behind me on my clock. Enter your name and the timestamp will appear. Remember to subscribe, like, and share. Get this information out there. All right, double checking in my rooms. All right. I'm going to get the link. Oops. I will get the link. And we will go get Miss Amy. There we go. And let me double check on here. Okay. Now, if you want a deeper reading, or if you want to heal and you want me to help you, then you can do 5, 15, or 25. 25 helps you come onto the show. For others to, this can be just for you. I don't, but it could also help somebody else in the long run. I can't see that. Okay, I'm going to have to look on the bigger screen. Here she comes.
I'm getting there. It's being slow tonight.
Oh, it's just all those energies.
There. Now it's right.
Hi. Hi.
Hi.
Oh, how can I help?
It's been a really weird day, weekend, few days.
Okay. And what is weird for you? I mean, what can you share?
It's like I went over and talked to the lady who's going to bring me to the airport. I went over and saw my mom's best friend. The lady that's going to watch the cats came over. It's like, oh my God, I'm surrounded by programs.
Oh, okay. So it's not just, hey, I'm doing things in my life purposefully and I'm getting all the ducks in a row. It is, whoa, I'm sitting here in discernment and noticing the different types of characters, signatures, personalities.
Mhm.
And normally you would be just like not be mindful or aware, but now you were aware. What stood out the most?
Just the programming of it's like same crap, different day. It's like they're on. I can see that they're on this hamster wheel of repeat.
Okay. So what I'm hearing, and again, I don't know what to call this, but it's what I'm looking at is intuition avoidance. Not you, them.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so you're looking at your one ring out. It's not that personal, but it's one ring out. So you're listening. And as you're watching, so did you notice that they were avoiding their inner truth, their inner perceptions, and their reading, their ability to have reality? And did they stay in more of the victim mindset? Where were they?
Especially my mom's best friend.
Mm-hmm.
Victim that I'm not going to be here. And it's not like I talked to her. I mean, I think I saw her maybe 3 months ago.
Okay. So even though you're not participating in her world every day, she was doing what the auto program is saying is that you're going away. Oh my God. Did she put her fears into you?
Mm-hmm. She tried to.
Okay.
Yeah.
So she is probably not in the now as much as she's in her face. How do I explain this? So if a program is showing up, then how is that going to affect me? Well, or how am I social skills? Or
Mhm.
how do I feel in this moment? Now, if you're looking at certain programs, and if they're not letting their higher self guide them, then they're only going to look through fear, because love can't be present. You understand?
Mhm.
And so there is this fear. And would you say that she was controlled by fear or love?
Fear.
Okay. And with this fear, her social skills were to worry about you.
Mhm.
Yes.
Mhm.
And did you feel how that love was worry, right? So did she have a slight paranoia as well?
Yeah. Yeah.
So you can see her limited knowledge of understanding.
Mhm.
Okay. And you didn't fall for it though.
No, I didn't, but I actually morphed into her and I didn't even realize it.
How? Okay. Right away, did you play it out? Tell me how you discovered what you just said.
I was talking to your hubby and he said, "Are you you?" And I'm
So
like,
he
"Oh."
could actually hear. Good on him. Good job, Alan. So he said that. So your higher self then caught.
Yeah, and then I muscled. I'm like, shh, shh.
So could you see what he could see in what
Yeah,
you?
it was like it was like, oh yeah, oh yeah, that makes sense. I could see the fear. The words that I texted, I'm like, oh yeah, oh yeah, because it was like, um, I said something like, well, what the heck did I say? Hang on. Um, I said today has been effing weird. And he goes, question mark, question mark, question mark. And I go, time is off. I wasn't sure how to explain it. And usually I can articulate how, but it was like I was capped. I didn't have the words to explain how I felt off.
So
That makes sense.
good. So did you notice? Okay, so again, when you begin to notice these things, if I ask Spirit, like what so you're looking out and you're looking at the first ring out and of how everybody is just these programs that are running around and they're using fear. If I said, what is the meaning for you on this? They're telling me to go into the false alarms. Self-made person, belief, I'm all I got, feel cut off from the universe all of their life, handle it on their own, unassisted, excessive, out of control feeling, anxiety, having to handle it on their own, beyond capable of healing, or never received love. Now, when I say these words, one, none, or all, what pops for you in resignation?
Like the anxiety, I was going through that yesterday. I could feel her anxiety. The neighbor lady next door, I could feel her anxiety. She was, because I'm going so far.
Okay. So notice that these are false alarms
Mhm.
based on their experiences or borrowed experiences. Could be from TV or from other people's life experience. But the mirror, I'm going to say the refraction, not necessarily the mirror, is that you are doing an unknown, meaning you never done it before. So, did you morph into their fear? Or did you morph into something? You said you morphed into something. Give me a little bit more.
I I think I morphed into my mom's friend.
Okay. And begin to notice that the anxiety, and when I said, so if that's the case, then that means there's a root. Because was it installed? No, this is what you're meant to see. So the influence, the persuasion, even though they're speaking, they're telling you that they're deficient, they couldn't do it.
Mhm.
And Okay, so now I feel like I gotta rock, I gotta move. So the body is got these chemical peptides. So like if somebody is stressing me out, I'll start cleaning just to get rid of it, or I'll start running, or I'll start to walk, or I'll start. So and if you okay, so you're waking up, you don't want to build false realities. But somewhere the little in you started building a false reality, not the woman that sits before me. And I said, what age was building this false reality? When I was 44, I was really. When did you lose your parents?
Let's see, I would have been my dad 40, I would have been 43, 44, yeah.
Okay, that means no parental, you're on your own. Okay. Now you have to figure out how to live when they have taken that ability away from you to fail, to do these things. You now have to learn what you should have learned as a kid. Okay. But you feel very, I've never been here before. I'm very deficient. I'm very, where's the instruction supposed to come from? I'm very, so, and again, it's not a big part, but the 44-year-old is believing. Let's see, what is it believing? It's telling me, you're at your breaking point. Okay, so I can't focus on everybody else and do all this. I am on my own. I have to focus on taking care of me. But now you're at your breaking point because it's so fun, so overwhelming. So you're seething, you're upset, you're mad, you're struggling, and it's like, I can't do this anymore. And you're at a breaking point. So you could feel so lost, confused. I can't do this on my own. Get your ass back here. Don't die on me. I can't do this. Okay. Now, you're identifying with this. I said, is there anything particular to heal? They said, just listen. And I gave you a free little thing called, so it was self-flagellation, meaning I'm supposed to reject myself. Systemically, I'm supposed to reject myself. So you're not supposed to accept who you are, grow. So you have to reject thyself, which is your higher self, your loving self, your capabilities, all of this. And when you start to do this, then you're supposed to punish yourself when success comes. Hence, how dare you go on that vacation? And you're like, but it was successful. And they can't understand what you're talking about.
No,
Okay?
I have no idea.
Now, you have these two things that are happening. You know that you deserve, and a higher self, you know that you can have your heart involved, you can do this. But you're so used to having to reject your ideas, reject yourself. But you're supposed to punish yourself because you're happy. You're punishing yourself because you're success. So do you keep yourself busy? I've seen some people that constantly can't reward themselves because if they sit down, they're supposed to punish themselves. They have to constantly be busy. Okay. You have this going on, and then you have this, I'm at my breaking point because now I'm forced to have to take care of myself. And yet, you still have this, I have to avoid myself because I was told I'm weak. I can't.
And I think that's where I'll start to spin, but then I'll stop. It's not like a full spin.
Good. So one of the things I see is that your triple warmer does not know how to regulate because it's always in a false alarm. It's always in this stage. And I said, what do you want to be done with this? And they said, keep doing EFT like you have been, because I'm going to ask you to do one thing with your eyes when you're doing it. So you're rounding them up and going around. I want you to add one more thing, and that is a plus sign. You are going to deliberately close your eyes, open them, and then look over to the left. And then like REM sleep, you're going to look to the right. And then as you're tapping, you look to the left, and then you go to the right, and then you're going to go look up, and then you're going to look down, and then you're going to look up and look down. How many you do, that's up to you, but do the full sequence of tapping every meridian. And so when you start, you go, even though, and you can be looking up, I deeply and completely love and accept myself, you know, and then you can go side to side. But you need to start incorporating the eyes a little bit more, because somehow your eyes are connected to your ears. It's like you're driving down the road and they go, turn on the radio, I can't see.
Mm-hmm.
Because the noise is interfering with your ability to see and to pay attention. Okay. So yes, we are doing a lot of root chakra work. We have a lot of planets in play. And you are, if I were to look a little bit further, you're asked to look at, I want to chase my dreams, but I have to run from something. So you're doing it towards and away from. But what happens is that if you're running towards and you're looking back, you're going to cause the back to come to you to cancel out what you're running towards. Okay, so they're saying because of that, what's the ultimate though? So they're pointing to helplessness. It's that helplessness feeling. But I said, what's the ultimate? And they go, oh, incompatibility. I'm incapable. There's a strong belief is that you're incapable.
Yeah, that makes a whole lot of sense. A whole lot of sense.
So if you're addressing this, and I ask again, they're saying EFT, but it is, they want you to, the I thing, the plus sign back and forth, they want you to make sure, because you're not going to be asleep, but you can mimic, your eyes can be mimicked is like you're sleeping. So deliberately doing this and noticing, it's the same thing when I say cover it up, and you're switching eyes. But this is deliberate using EFT and deliberately it going as far as you can. Once you get here, but use your peripheral too. Don't just go looking here and here. No, look here, but use your peripheral. So my peripheral goes way back to here. Okay. So take a second, you go over there, but look, and if you have to use your finger, remember, keep your head as straight as possible, but notice that you need, if you have to, and I've done this, I put myself into a space where I put like a red piece of red tape here and a piece of red tape here. And then if I'm doing this, I can see it, but then I want to notice that I can look past it. So here would be the point, but I can look past it. And then I can see how far I can see. This is the learning state. Now, don't go too far. I don't want you to feel like you have to go dizzy.
Okay.
You haven't used these muscles in your eyes in a while. But this is considered the learning state, the peripheral. So if I'm looking at you, and let's say you're teaching something, I'm not going to just look at you and listen. I'm also going to just like zone out and look at everything. As I'm looking at you, I can look at everything. And as I do, I can intentionally pick up more from the field. This is good because if there's a color red over there and you're limiting, then it could feel like you're fuzzing, you don't understand. But if you really notice that all of this is happening in the idea of learning or healing or changing, hi Ernie, so when you think of Ernie, because Ernie just, has popped in, there's a lot of success there. I don't really know Ernie, but I feel like there's a lot of success there. And you've had conversations or whatever, and you can feel the success. But notice that you're telling yourself that you'll have success. Now, the question then is, because of all the people that I've had today, are you supposed to condemn the success the moment you get it?
No.
No, you don't have to. Okay. And become aware of that, because the prostitute, the self-saboteur, the victim, and the child, you're getting ready to grow out of them and change them. And again, it's bringing them all back into unity. Okay. So knowledge is important here, but also if you were to look at, you make sure you work on T8, T10, and T12, because you're supposed to take in the hystericalness. So let's say you successfully did what you wanted to do, but they were appalled by it and they went hysterical. This is going to create a boundary for you. So we want you to understand that you can get this out of your body. You don't have to become ungrounded just because you became successful.
I like that. That's cool.
Weird things happen here. It's like a sprout. The heck is that popping up? But don't confuse worry. Don't confuse love as worry. When somebody starts to worry about you, sometimes it can be their own paranoia, their own fear, their own limitations.
Yeah.
Okay. So what particular things stood out for you today?
Number one, I don't have to believe their BS or my own.
Right. Exactly.
I am actually really excited to do the eyes with EFT.
Okay.
It's a lot of information that I just needed to hear in order to heal so that this trip doesn't trip me up.
Very good. Yeah. So you can have success. But so you've been doing an overall arch theme about value and respect and okay, so they're telling me you're used to people talking at you. That's important somehow. These people that you encountered, did they talk at you as if they looked at your life, and because their limitations, they talked at you?
Yeah. All three of them did.
And your body is also saying, oh, I don't have to copy that pattern. Normally we would. Oh, monkey see, monkey do. This is mirror neurons. This is how I'm supposed to be. But there's a part of you that it's okay for me not to behave that way.
Yeah.
But you're also
when I walked out of the two houses that I was at, I immediately peanut buttered. Good.
But you're also supposed to connect that to how the little grew up with older people. Something's going to show up. I don't know what, but it will show up. And I feel like you're going to get an aha moment. Like the little is supposed to copy, mimic, and the imprint years, and you're going to get some sort of insight. I don't exactly know what, but I feel like that you will. Just be aware of that.
I think I just did.
Oh, well, type it if you can, or talk it, and then I can tell you. There's also something to do with the invading energies of people.
Yeah. I can't say it.
Holy crap. Hold on. I'm just going to ask you this. I put down self-medication. Did any of these people, are they medicating themselves? Self-medication. Are they?
Yeah, next door.
Okay, so what I'm getting at is that they can't face or know what to face to heal. So they will avoid it, but see the fear in everything everybody else does. So they have to dull the pain of life. They have to dull it. So life demands. So when you told them, they were looking at all the demands and like, I can't do it. And they believe, since I can't do it, you can't do it. if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe. Maybe.
Okay.
Okay, so I don't even know how long we've been on. Have I given you enough time?
Yeah.
I say I didn't set the thing, I didn't do that, and I'm thinking my time in space is so different than other time in space. I have to watch what I'm doing.
Oh, it time and space has really been different.
Yes. But I do know there's a root chakra thing going on in the United States, and I can feel my bivax cord, it's pulling me. And I'm like, that's not my reality. But thank you for alerting me. Thank you for alerting me. Because I have to say, since I decided to just go with the flow of it, I really have not had any issues. But when I woke up this morning, everything was spinning. Everything was like this phone that should had an update, all of a sudden said it didn't have the update. Now it's trying to update. And then this one over here says, what are you talking about? TikTok doesn't exist on your phone. I need to do it. I'm like, what are you talking about? And I'm like, oh. So it's
wow.
I wasn't going to spin out, but I was just like, okay, so what are you asking me to do? So I just followed along, and this phone caught up. And then I went and told my husband, and he's like, oh, how interesting. And just letting it flow through me that the show, everything started working great, except for I couldn't get my energy alignment on that puzzle. But
that puzzle can be up.
Oh, good. It's not just me.
No, it's not just you.
I'm going to say I did it right. And then when I took my finger off, it moved just a tad.
Yep.
I'm like, okay.
Yep.
Oh, but I also got some blessings out of it. To turn my one phone on, I just use my thumb now because it took my thumbprint on the side, not on the front. I can do it on the side now.
Oh, cool.
And I'm like, oh, well then, well, shoot, that phone costs more than that phone, but that one, oh. But yeah, you're creating different parameters.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Now, yes, that's it. And we'll see you in Tribal tomorrow.
Absolutely.
All right. Thank you so much for coming on and all that you do. So we're going to let you go, and we'll talk to you later. All right. Love you. Bye.
Love you too. Bye.
Okay. So we're doing pretty good here. We're doing pretty good. As far as Coco is not as complex as a human. But if I said if there was something that I could get out of this, they said, well, there's a demonstration from this, and it's out of here. They have this? No, they're picking up. They're picking up from like you in the past versus the you that you are now. And Coco is feeling the soul's decision more. So if I said, whereas in the past, some people say I'm out of here, meaning they could have a stroke, die, get out of here. But out of here is a feeling sensation. The soul says, I'm done. I have a completion that I've gone through. I've had enough. But in this case, is that Coco is sensing, because you're becoming a new person, that you have to reassess the situation. And you are not doing rinse and repeat or stay and play and repeat, but you're actually saying, I'm done. And you're showing up differently. And that confuses Coco. Okay, Autumn. It confuses Coco. I'm not saying really confusion, but it is. Coco's learning the new you. So before, it could feel when your soul says, I'm out of here. Well, your soul is not saying, I'm out of here anymore. Your soul is saying, I'm here. I'm changing this pattern. Does that make sense? I probably caught you off guard and you probably didn't hear it. But hey, Autumn, I said I did a Coco reading just a few seconds ago. So look about 12:59 or 1. Okay. Anybody want a reading? Again, I won't give you the healing tools, but I will give you the energetic reads, the codes, the things that your body and mental and emotional, the programs, and then the tools that can help change it. Oh, good. She does understand it. Excellent. Good. So that's good. April Lynn has a new job at a spa. Oh my God, I want to be in the float pond. Red light there. I like that too. I like that. That is really good. You still got that. I don't know if April's still here, but do you still have that hotel job? So it's identity, new identity versus the old identity, developing new identities. Okay, double checking again. I'm going to look to see if anybody has paid or wrote me or talked to me real quick. Yep, not that. That's good. Over here. Thank you again for watching, and I feel like we're ready to start wrapping this up. Activate voice Google match in the middle of my show. No. What the heck? So we have Google over listening, causing me to interrupt my show. That was bizarre. It paused because Google was like, hey, you want to do voice activation? I'm like, no. No. Yeah, that's bizarre. What do you think of this new way of reading the tool? Again, I can look at the emotion, I can look at them individually, but as you start to play out a particular scenario, and you may have some scenarios. One of them that I feel like I need to put on here, which I is like the second best syndrome, like syndromes. Do you know some names of some syndromes? You know, or conflicts, or it's like this is what I got to investigate. So I'm hoping I will start attracting that in. My friend may end up doing the cool sound bowls. Oh, I like all that stuff too. I used to take the drum and drum people. The intensity of the frequency of the drum would help clear out certain things, especially if you're holding intention. But boy, my arms would get tired. All right, I guess I'm going to wind it up. This is today's show. Thank you so much for coming here. You are the best, and without you, I wouldn't have a reason to be here. And I care for each and every one of you. So thank you. So thank you very much. You are already blessed and you're already whole. So stay blessed.